Hey Soul Family, how are you guys doing?
Hello everyone.
Today's what, December 30th?
Something like
My
that.
goodness guys, it's almost 2021. What a magical year this has been. I say magical based on what's happened this year, but it's also been crazy. Honestly, 2020 has been the craziest year of our lives and also somehow the most magical years of our life. We've gone through so much purging, so much clearing, so many realizations, so many breakthroughs. So we just wanted to come and spend the holidays with you guys. We feel like this is our version of family, spending time with family. We don't associate anymore with our birth families. So this is truly our family, and we wanted to just bask with you all, chill with you all, and really talk about so many of like the guidance that we received when we were going through our challenges with family. Because once you crack the code and once you get the higher perspective, life gets so easy, it gets so fun. So we haven't prepared for this video at all. The intention was to just come chat with you guys. It's also the first time we're meeting on YouTube since the ceremony of the solstice. So we've had so much go on since the solstice, but you want to start from there maybe? Like we can talk about how much...
Yeah, so the light that came in on the solstice was extremely intense. Like I'm sure everyone who attended the ceremony would have experienced it for themselves. And even otherwise, like the light on the 21st of December is usually extremely high. And every year since 2012, it's been going progressively more and more intense because more of the darkness right now from Earth needs to be purged out of humanity, out of Earth. And yeah, so everybody felt it. What we read from the comments is that people were purging, people were feeling nauseated with the amount of light coming in. They felt like their crown chakra was just expanding more than ever. They felt like a lot of issues from the past resurfacing. That was a very common theme. So all of these things are normal. You are not going crazy. You're not the only one experiencing all these crazy ups and downs, these cycles of life that we're going through. So hang in there. It is an intense period on planet Earth for every single one of us, and you're not alone. And we wanted to go a bit deeper in this video on some of the common themes that are coming up in the collective since the solstice and how we can deal with it.
Yes, solstice has been intense in a good way. So I made a Facebook Live yesterday, and I know a lot of my YouTube family is not on Facebook. So we're going to go more in detail about what we discussed yesterday on Facebook, which I know helped a lot of you guys. The most important thing to remember is, like Siman said, this is happening for a reason. Planets evolve in a certain fashion. Planets evolve in there's a certain scientific formula that has been used to help planets evolve. And bombarding a planet with intense light, with intense gamma waves from the great central sun is somewhat the common theme that we see when planets ascend, right? You guys all, I'm sure you all agree with that. So really go into the knowing that whatever is happening right now, whatever is triggering in your lives right now, whatever is coming up to be seen and dealt with right now is a result of this intense gamma waves. So what happens is consciousness has to move to the next level. Consciousness of this entire planet has to be up leveled. And the easiest way for that to happen, the way that happens is bombardment of light triggers what is not serving your highest good. So this light comes in, it comes in as light packets. It triggers everything that has been hiding. It triggers all the shadows. It triggers everything that has been, forgotten or buried. So since the solstice, but it's not since the solstice alone, we've had intense gamma waves coming in for quite some time now because our planet is ascending. So since the solstice, because it's such a huge portal, shadows are surfacing like never before for everybody. Like whoever, like yesterday's Facebook Live, literally I had 400 comments and everybody said, oh my God, we feel suicidal. We're having trouble with our children. We're having crazy situations with our family. Like my brother kicked me out of the house. My aunt threatened to kill me. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not even joking. So when you understand why this is happening, this light that is coming in is so high frequency. It is such a high frequency light that is coming in and being absorbed by a light body. That light sheds, it's like a torch. Remember, I've always used this analogy. It's like a torch shedding light on your darkest corners, whatever is dark, whatever is vibrating dark or below the fifth dimensional frequencies of unconditional love and freedom and radiance and respect and gratitude. Anything that's vibrating low will be literally, it'll come up like bubbles. It'll literally come up to be dealt with. And this is not happening to you in a bad way. It is not happening to you. So don't think something's wrong with me. Oh my God, why am I so cursed? Why is it so intense? I can't take it anymore. I have to give up. It's not happening to you. You're on a fast track on your ascension path. You are the visionaries, the leaders, the teachers, the space holders of tomorrow. So you're all that does not serve you, you're on a fast track to let it go, to deal with it and let it go. And as far as I'm concerned, I feel like it's easier to do it quicker. You don't need 5 years to do what you can do in 2 years. But that being said, I have always maintained for my personal life, when the intensity gets too much, I say to my angels and guides, I say, guys, the intensity is too much. Please cut the intensity. And you can do the same. So intensity, you can always request for this to be cut down a bit. If it's getting too intense, ask for the intensity to go down. But don't look at it as a victim of why is this happening? It's too hard. Think of it as, holy shit, I'm getting massively upgraded for what's to come.
Yeah. And our guides are coming in right now, and they're feeling into the energy of the collective of all the people tuning into this message. And the message that they want to transmit right now is just a very simple reminder that every single event in your life is orchestrated. So just absorb that frequency for a minute. Every single event in your life is orchestrated by your higher self, by you, by a higher version of you that has all your notes. They have your file, they have your book. So they have your Akashic record, which is like the book of your life. And it's not only the book of this current soul incarnation, it's the book of all incarnations you've ever embodied in. And in each of these incarnations, we've had hundreds, if not thousands of life for some of us on this planet, on many other planets. And we all come into physical bodies to evolve, because there are certain things that we can experience as humans with these limited 5 senses that we cannot otherwise experience as spirit. Because as spirit, we have 360-degree view. We know everything, we can see everything, and we can manifest at light speed. But on Earth, things start getting dense, things start getting slow, things start working backwards. We try to do something, we produce something else. So Earth is like a specialized training school, and when you get this concept at a very deep level, that Earth is a training school and nothing more, it's just a virtual simulation to upgrade your soul to a certain degree of evolution before you can depart from this 3D world and not have to incarnate back in physicality. So once you train your frame of mind that I can experiment in this, I can experiment in this 3D school, I can try different things, but have that scientific mind that there's cause and effect. Whatever I put into this vortex, whatever I put into my vortex of creation, if I put in good karma, if I put in good thoughts, then good's going to be reflected back to me by the universe. If I try to help others, if I try to be the best version of myself, if I try to make this world a better place, then the universe will start reflecting. The universe will suddenly shine a light on you and say, hey, this is a rising star. This guy or this woman, they want to get it. They want to learn their soul evolutions. They're done with the human mentality of why me, poor me. They want to rise higher because they're done with the matrix. Now they want the next level lessons. So that's the first step, that you recognize that everything is a lesson and you commit yourself wholeheartedly to passing through those lessons so you don't have to repeat them. That's another thing. When we resist our lessons, they're going to come back 6 months later with 10 times more intensity. So it's really in our best interest to really get this and start working with our higher self, with our guides, and also not with the mentality that this is a punishment and that there's consequences for our negative actions. Not at all. Your guides and your higher self love you so unconditionally, they would never do anything to see you miserable. It is only our lack of acceptance of committing ourselves to our own happiness, of committing ourselves to our own joy, that really sets us off course. If we're not working towards creating a life and just want certain things to happen to us without effort, without intention, then we're going to be very disappointed, because life is the school of mastery, and mastery is achieved by taking control of everything. Let's say you're a CEO of a company and it's your first day and the whole company's going down disaster. It's like a sinking ship. What's the first thing you do? You get a damage report from all your heads of different departments and you ask them, okay, what are the problems right now? Then you formulate a plan with them. You say, okay, these are the things that are going wrong. Now we're going to start changing our ways of doing things, and we're going to steer the ship around. We're going to save what we can. We are going to salvage what we can, and we're going to start changing the way we've been running this company so that we start succeeding, so that everybody starts succeeding again, right? So apply the same mentality to your life. No matter how dark or deep your life seems right now, no matter how helpless your situation, how bleak it seems right now, think of yourself as a CEO. Your higher self is the CEO that just stepped into your body. Now, what would your CEO, what would your higher self ask you? They would want to get a situation assessment. They would want to look at objectively put ego aside and look at everything objectively. What have I been doing that has been contributing to the issues in my life? And take it from there. Rise out of this darkness and be very objective with yourself. Ascension is all about being able to look inwards and getting an honest assessment of where you stand today. And then when you realize all your blind spots, when you realize all the things that need to change within, then actively start working in that direction. It is all about changing within, and changing within literally shifts your reality outside. This reality is a 3D matrix. It's a prism. It's a prism reality that's not generated from outside. It's not like Earth is a ball. It's not, we think with our...
And just to make sure you guys understood, it's not prison, it's prism.
Prism.
P-R-I-S-M.
Yeah, prism means like holographic reality reflecting back to you. So change the way you think of Earth. The physical scientific world has taught us that Earth is a physical ball and you're literally dropped into it. You are born in this ball, you die, and it's bigger than you and you have no control over it. But what the mystics and what the spiritual teachers have been teaching everyone from the beginning is quite the opposite. They have taught us the idea that this whole reality is Maya, it is illusion. So we are the ones generating this illusion with our chakras. So literally another way of looking at your reality, and when you flip the switch and start looking at reality in this way, everything changes and you realize how powerful you are. The room that we're in, the surroundings that we're in, the ocean that's behind us, the sky that's above us, the ground, the couch that's beneath us, this cup that's in my hand, all of this, according to the mystics, is being generated by our own chakras. We are the source of light that's illuminating all of this reality. And when 8 billion souls all come together on one planet and they have certain agreements of this perceptual reality, then we create certain physical limitations in this reality. But we can transcend those physical limitations once we realize how the rules of quantum physics work. So it's very interesting. And the main thing that we want to transmit today is that you are sitting in the seat of the control center, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you're steering the ship consciously and you know which direction you're going in, or you're steering it unconsciously. 99% of the population is sleeping at the wheel and their Titanic is heading towards that iceberg. but you have to start waking up and taking control, and that all happens by transcending the lessons within our lives and creating a shift for what we want to create.
Wow, I love that. So what shall we talk about next? So what I'm sensing is that a lot of people right now are dealing with relationship chaos. Not just relationship, anywhere you go. Like last night, Siman and I went out for dinner. We went out to a grill close by, close to the hotel here. And it was absolute madness in there. The full moon was triggering some crazy behavior. People were screaming, yelling. Literally, there were 5-6 tables that were yelling at the servers because of how late the food was, and they were walking out, and the guy making the food was swearing at them. So all the stress was going into the food. So what we do in such situations, and this is actually what we also want to transmit to you, is rise above the chaos. And how do you do that? Rise above the chaos by only and only choosing peace. So there was 2 tables in there yesterday that were not affected by the chaos. And it's so synchronistic that the other couple, they were a much older couple, but they were also extremely in control of their energy. They were very calm. And then when we came back to this hotel, we saw them in the lobby. They're also living here. They're also staying here. So it's very symbolic that we were tuning into their energy at the hotel. And what them and us, what we were doing is, instead of complaining about the food and allowing ourselves to get into that agitation ball, that is so huge on the planet already. The agitation ball is huge. Everybody's agitated about everything these days. Instead of contributing to that ball of agitation and allowing that energy to be the primary focus of our dinner, we said, all right, we have 2 choices. Either we just rise above it and we just watch. We watch what's going on, but we don't attach to it. We don't also get pulled into that vortex of negativity, of chaos. And so that's what we did. We stayed above it. And the craziest thing is, we got our food before the tables that came an hour before us, who were yelling and complaining and screaming and fighting. So fighting and screaming does not really get people anything. It's just a huge ball of negative energy that doesn't do anything. So the first message that I have is, the first reminder is, rise above the chaos, whatever that may be. Now let's dive in a little bit to relationships. This is a very deep one. This is very deep, and Siman, babe, feel free to pitch in, because we've got a lot of experience with this. And we genuinely feel like we can help with this. When it comes to family, when it comes to relationships, one of the fundamental realizations that I had and Siman has had is that we are born into these families, the families that we choose. We are born into these families because we have a certain list of experiences that we need for our soul growth. So we choose our families. We choose that, hey, we need to learn to be insulted by our, I'm just making this up. We need to learn how to take our power back and stand up for ourselves after being insulted or put down or demeaned by our family for 35 years. Or it could be, you know, I went into this family because I needed to learn how to, what else could it be? Like anything. It could be, I could learn how to deal with the abuse that I was subject to in my childhood. We choose the abuse. We choose everything that we need. And right now it may seem kind of crazy as to why we choose that, right? We choose it because we come to earth for one reason and one reason alone. We come to earth to evolve. All souls who come to earth, we come to earth not to have friends, not to enjoy luxury, not to go to work in a 9-to-5 job, not to watch TVs and waste all our time. Like, it's not about the entertainment of the illusion that has been created for us. This matrix has been created as an entertainment to keep us away from what's really important. We come to earth for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to evolve, for soul growth. That's the only single pointed reason we come to earth. So going back to family, the fundamental realization that we have had, and we practice this in our lives very clearly, is that family, like the 3D family, when I say 3D family, I mean the family that we're born into, serves a purpose. It serves a purpose. It helps us understand. A lot of us light workers have forgotten, like we are old souls and we have We need to be reminded the harshness of earth, and that is what these first 20 years of our lives or 25 years of our life are designed to teach us, for most of us. So when you fast forward and let's say you're a young adult, you're 25, you're 30, whatever age you may be, 40, it doesn't matter. Really tuning into the role that your family has played so far, the purpose that has transpired out of it, everything that you've received from it. You've grown immensely as a result of all of this, right? That is the focus. Families, a lot of cultural programs, like a lot of religious programs have come in and programmed us to believe that families are to be worshipped, families are to be tolerated, and that you always have to take whatever cards you're dealt with your family, you always have to accept it. That is far from the case. That's far from it. That's programming. That's programming at its core. And I've used this analogy many times, and I will say it again because we're talking about relationships. We're talking about the matrix. One of the biggest, so how do you exit the matrix? The matrix is inside of you. You exit the matrix by exiting this cage that you have placed upon yourself. And how do you do that? It's by really assessing what parts of my life am I locked in right now? What parts of my life feel constricted right now? What parts of my life feel disgusting or unpleasant right now? And those are the chains of matrix that you have around yourself. So once you realize, all right, this relationship is not serving me, or for example, let's say your father is being really, really, really toxic and really, really hostile to you. How you react to that has a direct correlation to you exiting your own matrix. You want to like go into that deeper?
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's so much to be said on this topic.
There's so many layers. We could write a book on this topic. So we're just channeling what's coming through and what's relevant for the collective right now. And like EldoRa mentioned, that families are the biggest teachers. And the reason for that is that we can be this super cool person with our friends. We can be the popular person in school. We can be a successful CEO and a businesswoman, whatever have you. You can be flying high in life, but as soon as you go to meet that aunt, or as soon as you, let's say your father triggers you because he always talked down to you. When you enter the presence of that one person in your family that's always triggered you or always belittled you, your bubble suddenly deflates, right? And you're like, what the F? Like, I'm this powerful person in the outside world, but in the presence of this one particular person, I just lose my shit and I don't know what to do. So that's the reason families really come in. The reason families come in is that they are our primal, they're the first programming that we received as a human. So they're under our skin, they're in our circuits, they're deep in our bone marrow. They're like, really, you can't take it out. It's you're processing your family DNA, right? You can't differentiate yourself from it. So what actually the family unit or the family structure is trying to teach you is that you still have certain reptilian aspects of your DNA that need harmonizing or formatting, that need evolving. The reptilian part of our being is the one that acts out, is the one that lashes out, is the one that acts in, it's that primal rage. When that rage comes out, we've all been there, we lose control, right? That's the key word, lose control. So when you come around family members, and this is very relevant because around the holidays, many people have been reporting this like crazy scenarios happening with family members, and they cause us to lose our shit. They cause us to lose control. Yeah. So eventually, it's not about what he said, what she said, who's right, who's wrong. Eventually, what you're going to take back from this whole scenario is, what can I learn from this situation? Because at the end of the day, you can't control your brother, you can't change your father, you're not going to change your aunt or uncle, you're not going to change that annoying brother, and neither should you try to. That's not your job. Their evolution is their job. They are in your life for a specific reason. They've been placed in your life.
You've placed them in your life.
You've placed them in your life for a specific reason. And many would say, why the F would I do that? Like, that's the worst thing I could possibly think of to do to myself. But there's a specific reason that person was placed to pull certain strings, to pull on your cords, to bring out that side of you that you thought you had healed years ago, decades ago, and you think you're healed. On the outside you may be, but we're like layers of the onion, and family goes to the primal core layer, and that's what brings out the parts, the shadows that we have not been able to heal. So the first thing you do is...
Hold on, before you say that. So really going into the fact that your family is actually helping you right now.
Exactly.
Your family right now is a safe space where you can... Why does my face look so shiny, by the way? I have no idea. I almost got scared. I'm like, what's this? Anyway, your family literally is here. What was I saying?
Your family is here to help you. They're not...
Oh yes, your family is here to actually help you. So it's a safe space where you may look stupid, you may look foolish, you may look uncentered, you may look not in control, you may look angry and rageful. But guess what? That's your safe space to practice all of this without judgment. Because once you leave, once you resolve everything, your family is not going to... It's okay for you to be that way as you learn these lessons. So what I'm trying to say is go easy on yourself. Don't hold blame, because we humans, we always think, oh my God, we did this. How? So let's say, especially we empaths, let's say you think you're really spiritual and one day you realize, oh my God, I've been holding envy for this person. Holy shit. Now, when you have that realization, don't feel bad. That is the message. That is the message the angels are always saying. Don't feel bad, because we don't judge you for these things. You're having a human experience. So if you're having a lot of triggers come up with your family, if you're having a lot of chaos, go to the root cause of what it is trying to teach you without placing any blame on yourself. Take back your power. Use your voice, right? Use your voice.
Create your boundaries.
Truth. Create your boundaries.
And set your parameters for what's acceptable, what's not.
Correct. And if you don't do that with family, just think about it. Tomorrow, if you're like, how can you even move forward in your evolution? Let's say it's in your soul contract to be a spiritual teacher to so many, or it's in your soul contract to host seminars for so many. Your family right now is training you how to be around people, how to behave when someone triggers you, when someone gets under your skin. Does that make sense? So your family is helping you. As crazy as this sounds, your teenage children, your family, they're training you on how to take back your power, have your boundaries, and more importantly, know who you are. Once you know who you are, they don't have the power to call you names, because even if they call you names, that just shows that they have no control over their speech, that they're immature, they're rude, they're obnoxious, but it doesn't reflect on you. So they can call you anything in the book. They can imply that you're a bad daughter. They can imply that you're a horrible person. They can imply that you don't love them. They can imply that you're too spiritual. But once you know yourself, what they say doesn't have an ounce of effect on you. Really soak that up, because we humans always take on everything on ourselves. Like it's our fault, because that's how I was programmed. Anything happened, I always felt like it was my fault, because that's how I was raised. Anything happened, oh, it was her fault. What did you do? Why did you do that? So we carry all this inside of us, and that's all coming up to be purged. And your family, your kids, we're going to go into kids as well, but they're training you on how to operate in a higher, like be your higher self when you deal with your own family. Try practicing that.
Yeah, and I wanted to share a personal example from my own life, where when I was raised, I was raised in a way, very unconscious parenting. But you know how parents like throw around phrases like, oh my God, you're so stupid. Oh my God, you'll never get this right. Oh my God, like, I told you to do this. Why can't you even get the simple thing right? So they talk to you in a very belittling way, but they don't even know what they're doing because they're so unconscious, right? I mean, this was one generation ago. Things are a little better in the collective. Thankfully, the parents of today are way more conscious than our parents were, and that's how evolution works. But we had to carry all of these programs. Like imagine growing up as a 3-year-old, getting bombarded with programming instructions by your parents that I'm not good enough, I'm not capable enough, I can't do this. So imagine the burden that 3-year-old carries. It's like a big rock on your back, right? And you're growing up, and then when you are facing certain life situations, all of those programming instructions would come up. Like when I would be in my job and my boss would reflect to me that something was not done up to standard, then instead of rising to the occasion and say, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna make this right, the old programming comes up, like maybe this is what my father was talking about, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I don't have the concentration, maybe I'm not smart enough. So what actually happens in these scenarios is we first have to grow up with all this negative programming, because that's the kind of school earth is. It first deprograms you in the initial part of your life, and then once you awaken and once you reach the stage where you start figuring things out, when you start seeing how the system of evolution works, then you start, like EldoRa mentioned, you start shining the torch inside. You stop blaming the outside circumstances, like, oh my God, I wish I had a better dad, I would have been more successful. You change that to saying, oh my God, I now know who I am. I'm a fucking amazing person. I'm the most powerful person out there. I can not only transcend my limited programming that I was raised with, I can not only transcend it, I can rock it. I'm going to turn the ship around and I'm going to fly it. I'm going to turn it into an aircraft carrier, right? So to speak.
I love that.
Basically, this is the turning point that we're all in at this point in our awakening. We're realizing that these old past programs that are constantly being reflecting to us how small we are the very programs of limitations, are the very shackles that we need to break free of, and do whatever it takes to break free of that. So don't be shy about creating your boundaries. Don't be shy about asking for space. Don't be shy about, and this is not to say that whatever doesn't work, just like disown it.
Because that is spiritual bypassing.
Exactly.
That is a whole different topic. It's spiritual bypassing, and you will know when you're bypassing something. Let's say something is staring in your face. Like let's say you're dealing with a con artist. Let's say you're dealing with someone who you know is a fraud. He's taken your money, and you're like, oh shit, I have a feeling this guy is a fraud, but the other half of me believes the story that, you know, he's a bit delayed. So let's say you're dealing with both. Bypassing is not even looking at the fact that he's a con artist and saying, oh, that's too heavy for me. That actually puts me in a state of fear, so I'm not even going to look there. And if someone even suggests that, I'm going to blame the other person for it. I'm not even going to look at that. I'm only going to deal with people who think this is a good guy. Was that a good example? Did you guys get it? I think so, right?
Yeah. So
bypassing is finding excuses to not look where you're supposed to look. So this is not about bypassing whatsoever. This is about you realizing when there's toxicity in your life and realizing this is not serving my highest good. My family is bringing me down. I'm not saying all families bring you down. I'm just giving you an example. This friendship is bringing me down. It's not here for my highest good. So then you transcend it. And with family, with kids, with friendships, one of the other things I want to add is I find that in 3D and in 4D, there's a lot more friendships than in 5D. To rephrase, in 3D and 4D, there's a lot more relationships because you're learning from the relationships. There's a lot more initiations, there's a lot more drama, there's a lot more lessons. So it can be very fun, but it can also be very tiring. I was the person who loved hanging out with friends. I loved it. And Siman wouldn't care because he had already reached that state of, I'm in samadhi, like I'm in so much peace. I don't need friendships. I don't need anyone other than the two of us. That's his haven. It took me not until 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago is when I reached that stage where I said, oh my God, all these friendships have taught me what they have to teach me. But now I only have room in my life for really high vibrational friendships based on detachment, based on unconditional love, not icky, not you said this, how did you say that, why did you unlike my Facebook page, why did you not comment on my Facebook post. That's simply not in my reality. So by focusing your parameters by focusing your boundaries and saying, these are my boundaries for even friendships. I look at them as entertainment. I see my graph. No friendship really lasts all my life. They come, they trigger something, I learn a soul lesson, suddenly they go. Then a new lesson comes. If I have not learned the soul lesson, the new friendship has the same pattern, and that goes as well. Until I heal that, and then that whole lesson goes away from me. Does that make sense? So you start evaluating, and you get to a point as you go through the 3D and then the 4D and then the 5D, you get to the point where you realize, man, I can be doing so much on my own. I can be, I can be doing so much on my own. I can be rocking this earth. I can go into my zone of creativity and passion and creation, and bask in that instead of wasting all my time with these unnecessary friendships because they don't serve me. So you come to these realizations. And one of the things I was saying yesterday was, I was saying that before you can actually access this 5D frequency within you, 5D can be very lonely if you've not learned how to bask in your own peace. 5D can be a bitch, there's nobody, it's quiet, once you get to that.
I would say that backwards.
Yeah.
Unless you bask in your own bliss, you're not even in 5D.
Exactly. That's actually a better way to say it.
Yeah.
Unless you bask in your own bliss and you're completely okay with that sense of peace, your I am presence, where you're not constantly looking for external entertainment, external distractions, where you don't have 100 different friends to keep, interacting with just to fill that void you feel within you. That's what gets you to 5D. And to say it the other way around, right now, it's very quiet in our world. There's not a lot of stimulation. We're just by ourselves. We really don't have any friends to really, if you think about it, in the whole world, we don't have family, we don't have friends. And we love it that way because we've set the intentions that we will attract only. We do not want friendships unless they have the 5D frequencies of what I already mentioned, detachment. We just want detached friendships, not attached. Let's meet, let's go for dinner, let's do this, let's have a barbecue, let's do a potluck. We've been there, done that. And man, it's sticky. So it's very interesting. As you do more and more of your inner work, your external circumstances, I feel, will get quieter, calmer, peaceful, because eventually all you're gonna crave is peace.
Yes.
Peace is all you'll want.
There are days we spend in this hotel and it is so peaceful that we literally spend from breakfast till dinner in the room, and the next morning we order breakfast, and the next night we're okay, we need to get out of our room because we're so much in our bubble. Ocean.
It's so peaceful.
So
yes.
It's this state of samadhi that you reach that you can only reach when you start going within. So that's what we constantly come back to. It's the journey within. When you stop placing all your attention in the outside world and you start going within. And another thing, EldoRa weaves so beautifully these stories. We both weave these stories so beautifully. It feels like we're literally connected to the same mind, and we're churning like a spiral, and we're constantly reflecting ideas off each other. And I mentioned that because twice in this video it's happened so far that when she naturally progresses into her next idea, it's an evolution of what I was about to say, and she's saying it so much more beautifully, and it's just weaving perfectly.
I'm not saying it more beautifully.
No, it's just I was enjoying that so much.
We're
I was
each other's biggest fans. That's what it is.
I was just smiling.
I'm his biggest fan. He's my biggest fan. I always say to Siman, I never learned what respect really means or respecting someone really feels like until I met you. Mwah. He is the first person that I respected like fuck. I'm talking respect.
Like fuck?
Like fuck. I respect him so much that, believe it or not, I did everything backwards. I respected him so much. I thought literally I've seen a lot of people and I'd never seen these qualities. And when I started respecting him that much, I realized, oh my God, that's what respect means. And I don't respect myself that much even, because no one had taught me respect. It's a very fine frequency, and I haven't felt respect for anybody.
Honestly, I feel the same way about you. There's no other person in the world I respect more than you. And I'm not just saying that.
That means the world to me, baby. That means the world to me. So we're just basking in our bliss, but I feel like we've done the work. Our lives have not been easy, guys. We have dealt with so much in the last 6 years, specifically so much from the time we got together. When I met him, I was still in another marriage, and I was manifesting dis-ease in my body because I was madly in love with him. But I had at the time, a 12-year-old son. I had a 20-year-old marriage. I had the security blanket of in-laws and all the cultural security blanket. And it took a lot for me to, you know, be madly in love with him and then go home back to my house. I did that for like over 6 months. And finally, one day I said, I have to leave. I have to leave. And a lot of people don't do it because they're worried about the kids. But what a disservice you're doing to your children if you're stuck in a toxic marriage or a toxic relationship. What kind of a mentor am I being to my son by saying, hey, I'm not happy in this marriage, but I'll just stay because of you? These are all old, outdated beliefs that have to go. And don't take on, this is so important, guys. I hope that whoever has to hear this is here. I trust that you're here. When it comes to kids, don't, okay, I use the word don't, but let me change that. What I learned in my journey is that when you're dealing with your kids, remove all of these programs that have been placed on you saying, this is what a good mother looks like. This is what a good child looks like. All of that goes out the door, and forget about how they were when they were little. Like my son was an angel when he was born, and his soul lessons, his personality didn't kick in till he was about 16. All of a sudden when he was 16, it literally shifted in front of our eyes. My little angel, who was we were like so close. He would always sing the song, I'm your piece of moss, mommy, I'm your piece of moss. And he would hug me like when he was a child. When he turned 16, his soul made a very clear choice. In 3D, what did it seem like? It seemed like he was acting out. It seemed like all the brainwashing his dad was doing to turn him against me was working. But you know, I connect on a soul level. So when Siman and I connected with my son's guides, with my guides, when I asked my son to leave my house a year and a half ago, and that was actually the best decision of my life. When he was 17 when I asked him to leave. Because I was being disrespected, I was being talked down to consistently, I was being manipulated, lied to. So what this did to me was it frazzled my field so much that I could not get into my state of creativity. I could not get into my state of bliss and peace. My energy field was frazzled. And I remember last July when we were in Lake Louise, we got the guidance from Siman channel, the guidance, I still have that video, where he said, where my higher self channeled through him saying, you're now being guided to start YouTube. And I was like, YouTube? Me? Like, what? It sounded crazy at the time because I had never spoken like this in front of a camera. And also my son would always say to me that I don't speak well. He would say, Mom, you're so enthusiastic, you're so hyper, like that's not how you speak. And you know, he had all these different people that he modeled, like these rappers and everyone. He's like, see, this is how you speak. So he started affecting my way of thinking. And so that first YouTube video that I put up, I remember it was the keys to 5D. I took it down. And that was the time when I realized there was a lot of other things going on in the house, stealing, lying, cheating, severe manipulation, like a narcissist level manipulation. My little baby boy was manipulating me. When my guides showed me all this, guys, I had a 1 second aha breakthrough realization. I let my son go. It was like this. It was literally like a click just happened. I just turned on and I saw everything. He could see it even when we were together, but he doesn't influence me in that way. He doesn't influence me. He waits for me to figure it out. So the thing is, when I asked my son to leave, within a week or within a few months, I started my YouTube. I started my 5D training, my mastery training. And what I did with my son so this is where I want to go a bit deeper. We are not abandoning our children by taking back our power and saying, hey, you know what? These are the rules of my house. Stealing is not okay. Disrespecting your mother is not okay. Disrespecting the love of my life is not okay. So we love you. We love you. But if you have to live in this house, these are the rules. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you cannot follow these rules, then you go live with your dad where his set of rules are perfect for you. They're perfect right now. I'll take it one level deeper. When I asked my son to leave, my guides showed me that my son is a young soul. He's very smart, but he's a young soul. He is here to learn the lessons of integrity, of respecting women. He's here to learn the lessons of valuing money. He's here to learn the basic lessons that I have learned eons ago. So how am I going to be a vibrational match to give him these lessons? He needs to live in lack to understand the value of money. He needs to live with someone who manipulates him to one day realize that he can manipulate others like he manipulated me. Everything that his dad has in that house is perfect for my son's soul growth. In my house, how am I going to teach him value of money when I've already learned all my money lessons? I live in abundance. I think abundantly. I don't worry about money. I don't think about stealing. I don't have integrity problems. I have gratitude. How am I going to teach him all these high vibrational topics when he hasn't even played in duality yet? So he needs the duality lessons. So the important thing is, even though it seems on the outside like I asked him to leave, which that's what he thinks. I asked him to leave and he literally left with an F you attitude. That's a different topic. There's no like remorse or, and I'm saying this to a lot of you who are in this situation, like sometimes you feel you take it on yourself, but your child has made a clear decision. Your child has decided that they want to go with what's less stressful for them, even if it means your ex-spouse or your even if it means that their other parent is allowing them to do things that you wouldn't. You just have to, like for me, I just came into an instant acceptance that this is it. The heart cord was severed. I didn't just ask my son to leave. The heart cord was severed. And my guides very clearly introduced the concept of unconditional love at that time. They said, EldoRa, whether or not you believe it or understand it now, you have displayed mastery with unconditionally loving yourself and unconditionally loving your son enough to ask him to leave so that he can learn his soul lessons where he's meant to learn them. Most mothers think, oh, how can I live without my son? Who's going to take care of me in my old age? But you didn't do that. My guide said, this is unconditional love, where you're saying, go and I give you blessings that your soul lessons may be easy for you and you learn all these lessons until we meet again. And it may be in this lifetime, it may be after, it doesn't matter. But really redefining these things about children, about parents, about, you know, even with Siman, like when he used to go in front of his father, even like 6 years ago, his energy would completely change. Literally, his energy would go like a balloon. Someone has just put a pin in the balloon.
Yeah, I wanted to also share my experience with my ex-marriage, where I had made this commitment to my daughters subconsciously, completely, but this is all based on society's programming that once you're in a family structure, you cannot get out no matter what. That's the trap. So that's completely society's programming, and it holds no value in reality, in the model of reality that we follow, which is basically we are all sovereign beings, and unless there's an underlying foundation of love, mutual respect, then there's no relationship. And it doesn't matter whether you're blood or whether you're a stranger on the street. I can love you deeply. I love all of humanity very deeply. But if there's no mutual respect, there's no foundation of love, and if I don't feel that it's in balance, then we cannot possibly meet on the same plane. So one of the basic things that we need to grasp in our mind is that we need to let this programming go, that things have to be this way. Once you're born into the structure, it has to be this way. Because in the process of evolution, as we raise our frequency, people and things that don't resonate naturally fall away. And that is part of the natural way of things. The way society has programmed us, which is done very deliberately through religious institutions, it's done through our family programming. Like we've been programmed by our parents since birth, that when I grow old, you have to take care of me, which is a good thing. You should take care of your parents. But there is a certain fear-based mentality that's injected into you as an individual from a very young age, that this is what you're born into, And you can never be separate from this model. These are the people you surround yourself with, and they're going to be your support structure for the rest of your life. They may not even be your well-wishers. They may be like slinging dirt at you.
So you don't owe them shit.
Exactly.
That's the realization.
So allow the realization that as you evolve, evolution, moving into 5D is all about detaching. So right now, if you look at your field and you put fear cords into every relationship that, oh my God, I need this relationship because if I don't have this particular person to assist me, I don't know what I would do. That's a fear-based cord. So now your relationships is no longer based on love. It's based on fear. Like I'm helpless. I need all these people around me in some capacity or another. That's the illusion. Once you awaken, that illusion shatters. And all that remains is, okay, where's my cord of love? Once all the fear-based cords, are removed, then you start scanning where all the love cords are. Which are the people who are constantly shining back to me, reflecting back to me who I truly am, who are showing me what an amazing person I am, what is my highest potential. Then these are the people who are my well-wishers, and they may not be related to me by blood, but those are the people I want to surround myself with. So I naturally had to distance myself from my parents for the last year, and I asked for a break because I needed that period of healing to be able to go journey deep into my self-discovery and realize and remember who I am. Because no matter how hard I try, I cannot realize who I am when I'm in that constricted energy. So I had to separate myself for a while so that I can allow my energy to expand. And by the way, it's still expanding. It hasn't stopped. So basically, when you realize that I have no cords other than the cord of love, that's the only cord I allow into my life, then your life completely shifts. Then it doesn't matter whether it's your father, mother, grandmother, your spouse, brother, kid, anyone. All your relationships have to be based on love, mutual respect, and support for one another. Genuine care, genuine well-being. And it's okay, there's certain relationships that are going to evolve with you. Okay, and there are certain relationships that do not have the capacity to evolve, because on a soul level, no matter how hard we try to take this person with us, it's not going to work, because their soul's matrix is only programmed to rise up to 4D. For them to, maybe not even 4D, maybe they're not even awakened. For them to rise up to where you're going would require a miracle. Correct. And we cannot force ascension on others. We cannot teach them in a weekend seminar. We can kind of like drag them into a classroom and say, hey, this is how life works, but they won't get it. It's a soul's choice, and many souls have chosen not to ascend in this lifetime with you. Okay,
and that's okay.
That's completely okay. And in this journey of evolution, it is very common for friends to fall apart, for families to be distant from each other for a while, for you to resonate with people you don't even know, and you feel like you know them better than your own blood family. So a lot of things fall apart, and a lot of new connections are formed based on vibration. 5D relationships are all based on vibration and love. So that's the only thing to be aware of, that it's okay to let go. It's okay to flow. You can let go of all your fear-based cords. You don't need anyone other than you. And the people who remain in your life naturally are the ones who are shining their love on you, are the ones who genuinely care about you as a person. And those are the relationships that need to grow more and more. And the ones that evolve with you, that's great. Never force anyone to. Don't put your belief systems on other people, because that's how religions work, right? Hey, I just discovered this awesome new religion and I want you to be a part of it. That's how the old paradigm works. In spirituality, it's like, model it. In spirituality, you just walk the path. You're the lone wolf. You're walking your path, you're focusing inwards, you're growing, and you're letting go of all the attachments in your immediate circle, and you're saying, I am on a one-way path. I'm on this hike to the top of this Mount Everest, and that is my only goal. I'm not wishing bad on anyone. I'm not wishing ill on anyone. Anybody who wants to join me on this journey is very welcome, but I'm focused on my growth. I'm focused on my success. I'm not going to let any of this bullshit structure that's around me holding me down. I'm not going to let this stop me anymore. I'm not going to let this slow me down anymore. And whatever naturally progresses with you, you're going to see that your surroundings change, your friendships change,
new friendships come in,
new friendships, new teachers come in.
Yes.
Because now you've stopped letting go of those cords that were keeping you anchored at the base of the mountain. Now, when you start rising, you see certain people rise with you because they are already a vibrational match for you. And other people who are not a vibrational match for you are just going to dissolve out of your existence. And that's okay.
And the universe starts connecting you with people. You don't have to do anything. The universe connects you. All we have to do on this path is to raise our vibration. And it's as simple as that. So let's say your vibration is, I'm just making this up as I speak. Let's say your vibration is number X. And let's say somebody else's vibration is X to the power of X. So the person with the higher vibration will have a different reality in Costa Rica than the person with a lower vibration. It's a mathematical reality, guys. The higher your vibration, the more magical your reality, the more abundant your reality. Money cannot be bought. It is a vibrational thing, especially now in New Earth. We both, Siman and I, have come from the streets. I've slept on the streets of Mumbai. Many of you know that story. When I was 18 and I ran away from an abusive home, I've slept on the streets of Mumbai, and I've come up from rags. I literally covered myself with rags, like a guinea sack. I don't know if you know what that is. I covered myself with rags. I've come up from the streets. But what got me here is I've always had a sense of positivity. I've always had a sense of knowing that even in those days, I remember angels surrounded me, synchronicities surrounded me. And just knowing, having that positivity, when you're like that, when you're positive, you're always focusing on what you enjoy. You're always focusing on gratitude of what you have versus what you don't have. When you do that, you become a radio transmitter and you start attracting more and more and more of the good stuff into your life. And literally, when I look at my surroundings now, I literally see this is how far I've come. And like Siman said, we just don't ever stop growing. Our ball of positivity and abundance just keeps exploding, because the quantum, I already said to Siman the other day, I said, I can't wait to go visit the galaxy with you, and I can't wait. So much is coming, guys, in this lifetime. We're going to be going on vacations to other galaxies. We're going to be going to, it's going to be so much fun. There's so much excitement, but it all starts with vibration. And when I say vibration, of course, you already know what you can do to raise your vibration. There's a video here I did a long time ago, a year ago. It literally is called How to Raise Your Vibration. There's a lot of other videos on YouTube as well about it. But I'm talking about the kind of vibrational raising, the kind of vibration raising that really means dropping what no longer serves you, detaching from the 3D, dropping the fear. Fear is very low vibration. Dropping the guilt that you feel in your heart for abandoning someone. You're not abandoning anybody. Change your story. That's what raises your vibration. Change your story. What else raises your vibration? Not taking guilt on yourself. Let's say you are really rude to someone. Let's say you're super rude to someone and you realize, my God, this person triggered me and I lost control. What does a master do? All right, I'm having a human experience. I lost my cool. Oh my God, I'm not going to do that again. That's not okay. But then I forgive myself. That's the important thing. What most humans do is, oh my God, I'm such an amateur. I was rude to this person. I'm a bad person. And then they go off on that rude tangent. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to dive into rudeness or dive into guilt. But bring yourself back, because you know who you are. Your divinity having a human experience. And it's okay to make mistakes. It is okay. Like literally, this is what the angels tell us. Sometimes in the beginning years of my awakening, I'd be like, oh my God, I did this. And they say, yeah, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. You're human. You're having a human experience.
Yeah,
so there's
Earth
a lot
is
of forgiveness.
just a school.
Yes.
You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to tear shit up. You're allowed to destroy things, you're allowed to make mistakes, and then recreate things again. There's so many times in our lifetime when we hit rock bottom and then we rise to the top again. That's what life is about. So allow yourself to learn, allow yourself to take risks, allow yourself to go on adventures, allow yourself to live an extraordinary life without any attachments. A life of adventure, a life of joy, a life of experiences, a life of magic. Because you can truly, truly create that for yourself when you let go of all of your beliefs that are keeping you locked in your self-created prism. And that is what Ascension is all about.
Yes.
It's about realizing that the bird cage was always open.
Yes.
And you could walk out any moment. You just had to come to that realization.
Correct. Correct. So just closing thoughts, guys, is that we've also had a very hard last 7 years have been insane, literally, but in all that insanity, we don't get caught into it. So let's say we were going through a really ugly divorce for him. We wouldn't get so immersed in the divorce that would be our reality. We never did that. The divorce was just a part. So you're being trained to think like a CEO, for lack of a better word. The divorce is just one part of your life. The ugly divorce, the court battles, is just one ugly part. It's fine. You don't have to make your whole life based on that. So you go to the court, you have your ugly battles, you come home and you say, oh my God, I'm going to now just, like have a glass of wine, or I'm just going to go out for a movie and decompress. I'm just going to go on a vacation to decompress from this bullshit. Go to the park for a walk, meditate. So you don't make this negativity your life. That's just one component of your life. So we've been through his divorce, my divorce.
And we're still going through a lot of shit.
Oh my God.
We've just learned how to be in our mastery, be in our center, and be in our peace.
It's all about
but our outside circumstances don't change. We're still dealing with challenges. We're still dealing with 3D. It's not like all of that has ended for us.
Yeah.
So don't think that 5D is all about la 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 fun and games. You're always dealing with 3D. The only thing that changes is you learn how to surf the waves rather than the waves taking over you.
Correct. You learn to surf the waves and then it doesn't get hard. I'll give you a simple example. I sent a wire transfer to an Airbnb in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. I sent a wire transfer and it's been 10 days now and the lady was freaking out saying, hey, I haven't received your wire transfer for our next stay. It's the next 6 weeks of our stay. So yesterday, I realized that all the money I sent was returned to my bank account. It didn't go through. But when they returned it, it was $2,200, a bit more than that. It was about $2,300 less than what I had sent her. Now, in my past version, I would absolutely freak out about that. I would be like, oh my God, now I cannot go ahead with this. How can the exchange rate be so crazy? I'm not going to now pay my rent plus this $2,300. But because I've learned how energy works and how abundance works, I'm now in a place where I say, all right, it's not a big deal. Hey, you know what? It's $2,300. You want to split it 50-50? Is that fair? Let's do it. And she's like, yeah, I'll let you know tomorrow. So life becomes easy because you're not stressing it. And that's the clearest example I can give you of how easy life becomes when you don't stress that $2,300. Because 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I had the same abundance that I have right now, but I didn't have the same abundance mentality. So I had abundance that I had somehow manifested through my positivity, but I wasn't living in this mentality where everything's so easy.
Unlimited.
Unlimited, guys. Abundance is unlimited for you. You just have to raise your vibration. I can promise you it's unlimited. It's on demand. It's energy on demand. Abundance.
Literally, once you reach a certain level of vibration, you can literally create things. Manifestation becomes so powerful that whatever you need, you can pull into your vortex. You need funds to cover an amazing luxurious resort for the next 6 months. You can create something that gives you those funds. It's really like magic. It's like
magic.
We feel like we're at the helm of a spaceship that can magically make things appear and pull it into our reality.
I want to tell them about how magically the universe connected us with the sacred items.
Yeah.
So this is actually, even we're basking in this magic. So this is how the QFS, the quantum financial system, works. We knew that we needed, oh my God, I need some as well. We knew, it's really hot today. It's super early. It's what, like 9:30 in the morning or 9 in the morning on the 30th. What was I saying? Yeah. So we knew that we were hosting a retreat in February, right? We also knew that, hey, you know, we'd like to get a drum, we'd like to get a few crystals, we'd like to get sage. None of this is available here in Costa Rica. So we said to the universe, hey, this is what our requirements are. Please, you know, make it happen if it's in our highest good and in the highest good of all. This is how magically it came about. This couple from the UK, Mathis and Mariska, messaged us on YouTube and said, hey, we're coming to Costa Rica. We'd love to partner with you at the retreat. And we said, unfortunately, that's not an option because we're sold out, we're full. And by the way, guys, there's 2 spots available. I'll actually mention it in the next video before I forget, because I have to make an announcement. Yeah. 2 spots have become available for the retreat. You can check it out at www.EldoRaandSiman.love.
Our logo will have our website in the bottom.
Yes, perfect. And so anyway, that worked out. And then we said to them, I said, hey, do you have some room in your luggage to bring us a few items? And they connected with their inner guidance. And they're not people who've been watching us forever. It's not like, you know, some of us have this love for each other. It's not like that. They just discovered us. They've maybe watched 1 or 2 videos. And they said, I don't know what it is, but we're getting a confirmation that we are to help you with this. No strings attached. So they went and got us a handpan, a drum, crystals, sage, spices. All in a snowstorm in UK. And when they came here, I said to them, I said, guys, you did a lot. And
they were getting married in those 2 weeks before they were coming here.
They were going through a crazy hectic week. And they said, I don't know, something seemed right. Something seemed right. It felt we got the guidance to do it. And it's magical. That's how the QFS works. What do you need? It's just delivered into your lap. It's magical.
Connects you with the right people, right opportunities, right synchronicities, and everything just starts clicking. You just have to keep sending the universe signals of what you want, what you desire, what you want to create. And as long as you're aligned with your higher self, with your soul's path, and with the benefit of all of humanity in mind, then you're fully charged. You're like a vortex going in the right direction, and you're riding the wave of the force of the universe of creating a better world for everybody.
I just got something. I think this was guidance. Like, it was literally inserted into my head. My guides are telling us that when we raise our vibration to a certain point, when we activate our own joy and bliss and feeling of gratitude and feeling of vibrancy to a certain point, they're saying that we become these light bulbs that stand out to them. So the God realm can start seeing these light bulbs more, and that's when your guides come online more. That's when you get more guidance. That's when you get more divine gifts, divine blessings. Not because you're being punished when you're not. You're always in a divine container of infinite blessings. But when you come online, you literally, they're showing me this vision. You just light up like a bulb, and all of a sudden the Ascended Masters have your you have their attention, you have the angels' attention, you have the attention of Father, Mother, God, because you're turning on like a light bulb in this very dark world. So turn on your light bulbs, you guys, turn on your light bulbs. And this happens in many stages. So you're already on.
Be patient with yourself.
Yes, your light bulb's already on. That's the best part. But keep brightening it. You want to make them amazing lights, Christmas lights, the best lights out there. So really, really unshackle yourselves from the burdens and the cages that you've placed around yourselves in these family structures, in these toxic relationships, in people that don't speak to you well, people that don't reflect to you the divinity that you are. Retract, pause, give yourself space, and expect a magical life. Just do the work now and get ready to fly.
And keep moving in the direction of your joy. Yes. That's your compass.
Yes.
Everything else that's not needed will just fall away.
Yes. On that note, it is time. Wow, 1 hour and 8 minutes. That's amazing. Awesome, guys. So much love. Have an amazing New Year's Eve tomorrow. This is actually the very first year since Siman and I have been together for 7 years. This is the very first year that we do not have any plans, any work plans for New Year's Eve. Every single year, I don't know if you guys know this, but we've held big dance parties in Toronto. Like, it's like a festival vibe. It's conscious, so there's no alcohol, there's no drugs. Siman's on the decks. He's a freaking amazing DJ. You guys will see. He's on the decks. He's playing house music, but with angelic frequencies embedded in them. And the kind of high that we experience fully drug-free is magical. There's angels dancing with us. It's pretty phenomenal, and that's what we're going to bring to Costa Rica as well. It's been shown to us as a dominant timeline. But every year we do that. We host a conscious New Year's Eve intentional party for like 300 people, huge gatherings.
And during the midnight hour, we just meditate.
Yes, we cross in.
We turn off the music, we do some sound baths, and we just meditate, and we like play the drum.
So beautiful, so beautiful. So on that note, this New Year's Eve, tomorrow, we have no plans. We just want to be with each other.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
in our cocoon.
Yeah, that's right now. I just want to be with you and just
relax. It'll be good for a change because we've never had a New Year's Eve like just the two of us.
Yes.
So
much love, you guys. I love you guys. We have another video that we're going to make, if it's still in alignment, about 2021. But we felt like today the relationship video was more important. I love you guys. We love you guys.
We love you.
Bye.